Hi, I'm Diana.
And I'm LaVonda.
Welcome to Homeschoolific.
Okay, so today we're going to jump into our Homestead update and what it's been like moving from Las Vegas to Central Texas. And all right, so what do you want to say?
Well, let's start off with our pros and cons. You know what? Let's start off with what's changed. So we've had some changes since the last video. If you haven't seen our first video, go ahead and check it out. It'll be in the cards above. But the first thing I would say is that we don't have cows anymore.
Yes, our the cattle that was here did not belong to us, and the owner took them away for a period. So they may be back later, but for now we don't. It was nice having them.
It was really nice
because they kept the grass low.
I miss the cows.
It's a lot to cut, guys. Okay, so anyway, so we have chickens instead.
We have chickens.
We've had we got two. We got meat chickens and our layers, our hens, and we just harvested
about a week and a few days ago now.
Yeah, our first and we've had them
several times.
Yeah. So they were good.
It was good. A couple to the neighbors.
We did. Our neighbors. That's another thing. So anyway, yeah. So that was that's an update. So no cows, chickens. Oh, the garden.
Oh yes. We put that on pause.
Yes. So. We figured that it made more sense to handle the chickens and then start in the fall. We have some seedlings that we started that we're going to try and get out there and just see what they do really at this point.
Yeah.
But mainly testers. They'll be our testers, but we want to see what it looks like I think it's always easier to start a garden in the fall when you go somewhere new, and we haven't experienced all the seasons yet.
Woo.
Enough of them to know that, man, it's humid here.
And that all the seasons happen at the same time. And sometimes the same day.
Same week, some day. Yeah. Same day, sometimes too, yeah. But everyone tells us here that that's not common. But I will say this. People used to say the same thing when my family moved to Las Vegas about 7 years ago. And they told us the same thing. And then it happened every single year after that.
I kind of think it's just what's happening in the world. So I think this is just what we're going to see now.
I think so too.
Yeah, so anyways, it's subtropical where we live. And so that brings this whole little thing. And if some of you that live like in Florida or something like that, you understand that it's just crazy weather. And but usually a little more predictable. I felt like, I never lived in Florida, but just the times I visited, I felt like Florida was a little bit more predictable. You knew it was going to rain. You knew the sun was going to come back out. You knew it was going to be warm. Same thing like Las Vegas.
Yes, it's going to get hot in the summer.
And then you're going to freeze in the winter.
She's exaggerating.
It's not an exaggeration. Nobody should go from 118 down to 32. It shouldn't have to happen.
Listen, that's okay though.
No.
It's okay.
If I have to live at 118, I should have a wonderful, warm winter.
32 is usually a nighttime, early morning, depending on what time you have to be at work.
It has snowed every year for the last 3 or 4 years.
It's our fault. We moved there. We came from Michigan and brought the snow with us. I don't know what to say.
It's crazy. So no, I don't get it. But I'm from Southern California where the weather is mild. So for me,
spoiled. It's
ridiculous.
Yes, I should be used to this kind of weather, but I'm not used to the humidity here. So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
The temperature has been what's consider your spring temperatures. Nothing unusual about the temperature, but it doesn't feel 70s and 80s. When you get into the 80s, it doesn't feel like your 80s. It feels like we're well until the 90s.
Because even when it's like 50 degrees outside, we would be freezing in Las Vegas. It would be
chilly.
So cold. And it's actually not awful here.
No, it's not.
It's like, oh, it's 50. I'll wear a little sweater, but I'm okay. It's not bad. 60s is very comfortable.
It is.
Yeah. So it's very weird how the humidity
here makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference. But that actually doesn't bother me, besides I can't figure out what to do with my hair.
Right either.
Just the unpredictability of the weather bothers me more. I could handle it. I just don't know what to have throughout the day. It's just, or every day. I just don't know. And so that is the part that bothers me. Whatever you're going to be, just be it. And somebody let me know. But even the weather people are like, shot in the dark, maybe rain. Today was a 60% chance of rain, and it's beautifully sunny.
Yeah. I've never seen it where we would show up rain all throughout the week for the next, it shows you 10 days. For the next 10 days, you're going to get rain. And then 3 of those 10 days, you get the rain.
Yeah, if that. And every day is a chance to rain here. It's like, it could happen.
It could.
It could happen. I'm like,
I don't know how to prepare for that.
Exactly.
I mean, we keep our umbrellas in the car. And I don't know why I forgot to put our ponchos in there. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the weather's been interesting.
It is. See
and
how
then
long
obviously
we talked about it?
It was.
Been interesting.
And we were also here during the storm, the big Texas storm in February. So we came in November.
Yeah.
And we've been here since then. And yeah, the storm was a thing. It was a thing. It was
like not to be insensitive, because a lot of people struggled and even some people lost their lives. So not to be insensitive, but for us, just because we were pretty well prepared, in spite of just getting here, it was kind of almost fun. So
I think it showed us what we were made of.
Yeah.
It showed us that we had this thing down better than we thought, I think.
Yeah.
We hadn't really had to put our skills to the test. And so I think we were able to put some of our skills to the test.
And even see what we needed to work on. And we were, there were things that were definitely annoying. The rotating electricity was the worst. It was like, just give me an hour on, an hour off. And
melting the snow.
Melting the snow
was
annoying. But there was never at any point was it dire for us.
No, thank God.
So it was one of those things where it was almost like having a bad camping trip where you would think you're going in and it's just going to be a little chilly and then you got snowed in. You're like, I mean, yeah, I brought stuff just in case, but what?
Right. And we were grateful none of our pipes burst, because that could have been so many people lost so many things.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened since we've been here.
In such a short time.
In such a short time. It's been what? It'll be 7 months this month.
This month, yeah, end of
June.
this month. Well, for us, at the end of this month.
The middle of this month, it'll be 7 months for us. So, yeah, that part. What else? The bugs.
The bugs changed, like...
The fall was beautiful. The winter was so nice. And something happened.
Okay,
and
I'm gonna go backwards. The fall felt nice. And it had a beauty to it, but it was brown, dry. Like now we got all the green.
But the weather was nice.
The weather was nice. The weather was beautiful. But I do like how it looks now.
It's beautiful to behold.
Yeah.
But the bugs that come along with the beholding,
she don't like them.
I don't. They like me too much. I don't know. I do my best. I have noticed wearing the white tops have helped, and then the deep forest.
The DEET helps.
Everyone tell the DEET. Yes, DEET in your bug spray. And as much as we want to avoid those things,
we do. But I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna come down these ways, take your natural stuff and set it on your shelf, and use that for up north.
It won't work here.
It doesn't work.
It won't. I know, because I got tore up so bad to the point where I had so many bites from mosquitoes and horseflies. My arms, backs, they were on fire. Yeah. It was like a rotating pain, and no.
And that was the same for me too. Legs.
She experienced, and the legs too.
Yeah, went through my jeans and bit me up. They didn't care. I had on clothes. Didn't care at all. Just ate me right through my denim jeans. I was like, that is a strong poker. Good grief. Go right through my jeans to get my blood. That's just mean and rude and just uncalled for.
I think it's because they don't make these jeans thick enough. We be trying to get the stretch, and that's not gonna work here.
These weren't the jeans I was wearing. I was actually wearing regular jeans, and I don't think it was fair. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It didn't. The bugs, yeah. The mosquitoes, not all the bugs.
The bugs don't bother me, just the mosquitoes.
The scorpions, what's funny is the scorpions don't bother me. I don't enjoy seeing them. Even the spiders, I could live with.
Yeah.
But things that bite me that fly, get out of here.
It's not fair.
The bees are fine.
Asked the Lord about these things, and then I had to go research it because, I don't question God, but y'all.
I did.
It's just so bad. She's not exaggerating. We had to take antihistamines, Tylenol, Advil. Every time I turned over, it was just pain because it wasn't like for both of us react real bad. So they bruise and
golf balls,
yeah,
baseball, softball.
I had softballs,
yeah,
and so it was just horrible to even sleep. So I had to ask, like, what's the point? And the only thing I can find is that they're food. And I believe the other reason is to remind you all you don't want to go to hell.
Are we in hell right now?
No, but don't go.
This is like a taste.
Yeah.
Is our spring a taste of hell?
Just remind you don't go to
This is
hell.
the mosquitoes and the horse
How
flies.
bad it could be.
Deer flies. They're there waiting for you in hell.
Edit that out.
What else?
The changes? It's so green.
It's a lovely.
And the grass grows in spite of everything you do.
We can't, because there's been so much rain.
Yeah.
It's hard. You can't mow because we got a big tractor. There's certain things. It'd be nice if, ideally we'd like to have something a little bit smaller to get around easier and faster than the tractor. I've seen I've had people make good suggestions for us.
Yes.
Which we love to do,
It's just another $3,000.
And why not? Just
y'all can just watch these videos, like them, and subscribe them. We can go ahead and get us our lawnmower. Just saying.
Oh gosh! But the grass grows so fast, and because of how much rain we've had this spring, it's been hard to keep up because you can't mow on the days where it's raining, and then it needs to dry a little bit so your tractor doesn't get stuck. And so there are places that we have to push mow because there's
even push mowing is hard once it's really wet.
You can't do it when it's wet.
Yeah,
the grass gets stuck under there and builds up.
Yep.
And that's why you're not supposed to.
Yep.
So that's been interesting. Oh, look at you!
We're looking at a wasp there. There's a lot of those.
There's a lot of wasps.
So here's how it works here. There is a plague, and then there's another plague of whatever eats those. Mm-hmm. So there's a plague of insects, and then whatever eats that insect, there's a plague of those, and it's an ongoing thing. And so it's a cycle. It's a very interesting thing. Again, most of these do not bother us.
No. But the mosquitoes.
And I know we're talking about the grass, but we just need to make you understand that there's nothing like this.
No.
And in Las Vegas, where I would get so tormented by the mosquito I would find in my house.
Oh, gosh.
I feel so petty now.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy.
Yes. And mosquitoes never bothered me there. We didn't really have any. But in Michigan, we had our fair share. This is
so much water there too. You would think you'd have
this
more.
is a whole nother level. I've never seen anything like this, and I think it's just the South for you, I guess. But Texas is beautiful.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's by far the most beautiful state. As big as it is, like to see so much green. It's beautiful.
And see so many different things.
It is, and we've gone to San Antonio.
Gorgeous. Go if you can.
Yes.
Go.
And even we've gone to Waco. And we just tried to go. To be able to drive a couple hours and still be in the same state and still have places and things to see and things to do. I love it.
Yep, you're all in the same
A major city.
Yeah.
To go to the next major city.
Yeah, it's so many things to offer. And so,
Yes.
and that's something that I think has changed is that we've gotten to go out and about a little bit more. And so we've gotten to see things. And I am not easily impressed. And I'm not really a city person. I don't really care for them very much. And this place impresses me. So I was just like, what is this? It's kind of cool. So yeah, I think that's been a good thing. Any other changes?
I think that's it. I mean, our kids are still, we've been able to find, I think at the time we did our first update, I don't know if the kids were already active in the things or if we even talked about it.
We were saying we were in a co-op.
Yeah, but we hadn't done anything yet.
Yeah.
But our kids in January started choir for my older two and then karate in February for my youngest. Choir has been amazing. It's really, really nice to have that community and also finding an activity for all our kids, and then being able to connect with the church that we've really enjoyed and for our family, plan on continuing to be there and looking for ways to serve has been just all God, because it's not easy to kind of fully throw yourself into a new place and build a community. It takes effort on your part.
It does.
So everything that's happening, where it takes us going out and searching and going out and seeking also, and just praying that God would direct our path.
Yes.
And put people in our lives that He would have in our lives. And, one thing that we've struggled with, that we've talked about, because we came during, everything, the thick of everything, was like having people over, and, we are on a good amount of property. And so there's this temptation to kind of close your doors.
Yes.
It feels like this safe haven for your family, and really when God kind of called us to be that for a community, right?
Right.
And
community is important to us. Like,
it is.
It's really, really important to us.
And so building that has been nice, so we can just start to bring people in and invite them.
And we've had a lot of people come from out of town, from Las Vegas. So that's
well,
been
you
nice.
have.
It's
been you.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, a little bit for
Sorry.
one of our visitors that knew us both well, but everybody else has been you. We haven't had any.
Oh, well, we've had a lot. I've had a lot of yeah, so that's been nice. It's funny because the kids, they've asked me, do people always come out of town to see us as often? I'm like, never. It's very funny because when people come to Las Vegas, they rarely see you.
Oh, no.
It's so weird.
I have people that come to Las Vegas all the time, and I don't mind, because I get it. They're usually there on vacation and trying to enjoy themselves, and I'll try and sneak in if they know that they have time, and then they say, hey, I want to see you, I'm here. Like, yes, let's see each other, let's do it. But I don't want to intrude on their time. But most times people don't. You come to Las Vegas, they have a very planned out time that they're there,
and you ain't a part of it. Yeah. We're here. We've had multiple people want to stop by and see us, and so coming to like, oh yeah, we're gonna pass through here. It's okay, we stop by. Absolutely, So it's been really nice because I think we've had some kind of visitor from home almost every month.
Yeah.
So it's been a taste of home coming here, and that's been really, really nice. And so I've enjoyed that a lot, and it helps. I don't know, it helps me feel more established. I don't know.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a home for them too. Like once they've come here, they've established that this
like
is a meeting place.
The familiar faces in your environment, it really just nails it in as home. So that's been helpful. And I think that's another change for me, is that it's starting to feel more like home than it did before. So where I felt like I was kind of visiting, it's starting to feel like home. So any other changes? I think that's it.
I think, hold on, let me look at my list. A lot of grass to cut.
Grass. Oh, so now let's talk about pros and cons.
Okay.
Even though we kind of did go into some of those.
We did. But for sure the space, I love having the space. And honestly, in the spring, because of the bugs I'm not out there as much as I used to be, because I'm a little nervous about, I just scratched. That was like a subconscious. No, it was a subconscious thing.
I'm scratching my bites.
I'm sorry. I used to hang out way more, but it's humid some days.
I would
really
say
bad.
that's my, like, I go on walks every day outside, but I don't hang out as much as I normally do, just because if I've already showered, it's just like, if you go out there and you're going to shower again, it's just so much, you just sweat. Even if you're not necessarily feeling really hot, you just drip and sweat. And like, even like just after getting hot, it just takes you so long to stop that sweating. So for me, that I am not outside as much as I want to be because of that. However, like, we plan to start going to the lakes and stuff like that now that, it is getting warm and it's staying warm. So I plan to be outside for different things. And then we went to, I think it was Barton Springs, and hung out there. It wasn't as humid that day. And so it was just really nice. So like, when we go places, we're going for longer stretches because it's just so pretty. But on a daily basis, I would also say I'm not outside as much. I'm outside daily, but not as much. Elijah's still outside almost.
Yeah.
He's also really a little boy. He doesn't mind being a little funky and sticky. Doesn't bother him.
Yeah, he enjoys it. Having a shower as often as I would have to really stay out as much as I was in the fall.
Yeah.
It's not always fun. It's not really it.
Yeah, it's like when you've got kids and young kids still, you moms know, like getting in the shower sometimes
it's not easy all the time.
So and here's the thing. You kind of have to here.
Yes, you don't have a choice.
Right.
So it takes time away from your things, and then you're showered, and you have to cool down. Like we recently, you don't just get to shower like, oh, it's good. So cool. You shower, and there's the residual.
Yeah, it's like
heat.
Just had that happen this morning.
So yeah.
So you might have to sit in front of a fan. It's not even that you're hot. Your body just still wants to sweat.
Down. Yeah, it does. So the humidity changes a lot.
Yeah, so I love the Spring Pro. Beautiful. Con, it's humid. You're going to sweat the whole time.
But we heard the humidity dies down in the summer. Yeah,
so like a lot of you guys are getting droughts right now really bad. And for whatever reason, these regions over here are getting a lot of that rain. Mm-hmm. And so apparently it's even more humid than what would even be normal for this time, and it's more rainfall than normal. Mm-hmm. So we're just getting a lot of it, and for us this is, we're used to dry. A humid day is 20% in Las Vegas, and we're just like, oh, do you feel the humidity? It's so sticky. Oh, it's so funny now.
Yeah, we had some 90. One day I saw it was 99% humidity. What does that mean?
It just means that
it's gonna rain all day today. That's what it means. So yeah, I love the space. I enjoy having our neighbors farther away. Even though I actually, speaking of neighbors, because I brought them up earlier, I feel like they're, at least on one side, we haven't really met. We wave at the other neighbors, but I haven't really met them. But they're just friendly. Our neighbor next door, on one side of the property, he came and brought us some crawfish, because that's what he does for a living. They have company. And
first time I've ever had someone come to the gate like, some crawfish for y'all.
Live.
And I was like,
crawfish.
He said, watch your fingers. I was like, I have never carried a live crawfish. Not one.
Yeah.
And I got a whole bag of them.
It was a good amount too. We had at least 10 or 12 pounds. At least that. Maybe 10 to 15-ish. Somewhere in there.
I know, that was their thing.
So that day I learned how to purge the crawfish.
I did it all.
And cook them from live. I've cooked them before, more like, when you buy them in the store, you just steam them. They're already done. But to cook them live, there's a little bit of a process, which is not bad when you have the right equipment. This is why at Buc-ee's they sell all that stuff for crawfishing.
Yeah.
There's tables and everything.
Here's the thing. I did my job by bringing them.
She won't eat them.
I didn't even eat them. I was like, nope. I was like, thank you, neighbor. You are awesome.
I'm walking away.
They're alive. Yes. Actually, the people here are awesome.
They are. Yeah. They're so just friendly. And honestly, I don't even know if I can really say this because I don't know it to be true. But you know how you could just sense that people have just the joy of the Lord. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like there's, no matter what's happening, there's just, I don't know, there's a loveliness to them. You
saw it when it came to the freeze. The way everyone helped each other.
Yes.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever been able to see firsthand. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And so I would say that it's one of those things where, like LaWanda's saying, you kind of just see that in people. And so it was amazing. It just was.
It's nice to see just goodness and, things that you don't always see sometimes in our world.
Con to having our neighbors so far is, if I scream, they can't hear me. 2, it's hard to get to know them.
It is harder, I will say that. I
had to leave a note in our neighbors that's right next door mailbox because, we never see them. they're on 100 acres over there.
Yes.
And we see them come and we see them go.
Yes.
And so it was just like, I got some of their mail, so left them a little note. And then the mother called, and that was our first meeting encounter.
Yeah.
And we've been here 6 months. So, you know, it's really hard to meet your neighbors. Although I will say living in on ranch houses in Las Vegas, that was also a problem there too. So like when we lived in a cul-de-sac, we knew all of our neighbors. We knew everybody. That was easy. You know, like you guys knew your neighbors. Even if you don't know them all, you know some of them.
Yeah.
But when we lived in ranch houses in Las Vegas, I knew 2 of them, and that's because they were related. But other than that, I think it's just the spacing between the houses. People just don't talk to each other as much, and so it's so much easier to be distant. So I would say that's a con to having.
It is, and I think we felt like we thought that's what we wanted. And it's in a sense we want.
In a sense we do, but I want to know you.
Yes, I think we want the distance because we want the space to be able to do things that we like.
But when I'm partying over there, I want to be invited to the party.
Do you?
I do.
Sometimes
I like Latin dancing.
They're shooting. I think we hear the. I think we hear the parties from the. I don't think it's them. I think it's coming from behind, off the 969.
Might be.
Mike said it was, you know, the one the
that makes
gazebo
more
thing.
sense.
I think that's coming. That's what we hear.
It's always Latin music though.
They have a lot of quinceañeras over there.
Okay, maybe.
Anywho, definitely a con. And then all of my cons only had to do with bugs and humidity and having to cut the grass, which the grass is not a big deal to me as much to me.
I love cutting grass.
It's the bugs that
attack
you while you're cutting the grass.
That's how we both got eaten up.
Yes.
We loved cutting the grass.
I did.
I have to wear a mask and I have to take antihistamine because I'm allergic to freshly cut grass. It's a whole thing. But I get out there anyway.
Yeah, that's
and
I loved it more than I did.
I really do. And I was like, yes! And then I got out there and then they ate me up. Then I healed. And I went back again.
Over and over.
It's funny because like when you're on the tractor, you know, you just put yourself an audiobook on and it's the only thing you can focus on, and it's almost like occupational meditation.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like and I love to make up words for meditation. I made a new one up, the wine meditation video for that coming.
No, it's not. There will not be a video for wine meditation. Don't listen to her. Just don't look at what she's doing right now. I know she's doing something.
No, but it's so crazy. Like, and all you're doing is you're just focusing on that. And there is no problems in the world.
Yes. But
mowing that lawn. And so, I don't know, something about it is just so awesome. And then also I get to see all different parts of the yard that sometimes I just don't get around to. Like, I never really get around that shed back there where we put the wood.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I'm mowing it, I have to go around there. And so it's just, it sounds small, but it's just one of those things that just, you know, and then we have wildflowers that grow here. And so I get to see all the different wildflowers growing, and they're beautiful. I look them up. And so I just really enjoy getting around in that tractor and going around. I don't know. It's a thing for me.
It is nice. I think that's all. I think we kind of hit them all. One of the pros, you know, that we talked about. I guess we talked about the chickens. That was in the update.
We're supposed to be talking about. First of all, how do you like having the chickens?
I think chickens are awesome. They're not. I like them because they're easy.
They are easy.
I like. This is our first time raising meat birds. My family did not raise meat birds. We started with hens. They were supposed to be layers. And then around the time they were going to start laying, that was when we moved. So we had to find homes. But we've had to harvest some before in Las Vegas because we had what we thought were a few roosters. Turned out just one, and the other one was just trying to henpeck him, and it was crowing as well. And that's not allowed in the residential areas. Well,
in the city limits.
Yeah. And so, and then there were 4 we couldn't find homes for. So we had to do those 2 just before we left. But the other ones, the other 10, I know if you're counting and you're in Las Vegas, we had more than we were supposed to because they gave us more, the people that we ordered it from. But anyway, we ordered through the same company here. We did our first harvesting of our meat birds. We ordered meat birds. They grew so fast. They grew so big. I feel like we gave them a good life. They, sometimes
it was a journey.
It was a journey because there were some things with the weather
always with the weather.
That the birds were fine.
Yeah.
It was the weather that we had to move some stuff around and put birds in the barn to keep them safe because a tornado watch. And I realized that those, you'd hate to be sorry and and not leave them out just because you don't think the tornado's coming because you've had too many tornado watches and you don't believe them anymore. And then it actually shows up and your birds get,
I don't know. Even the ones, they say they never touch here. And even the one that I saw in the video that touched an hour away from here in Buda, I mean, that would have made me mad if it was a tornado. It was just kind of like, we call those dust storms.
Oh gosh, because you haven't felt it.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying it did no damage really. It was one of those things where I was like, I mean, I felt like that gust of wind that took the thing, the coop away was worse than that.
Our outdoor coop for our meat birds got pummeled by the wind. Like it crushed, it bent the metal frame in the worst way I've. So yeah, that changed some things, but thankfully they were only like a week out from being processed, and so we did all the processing ourselves. The only thing that we, it was a good time of learning, and next time we just know gotta have a plucker because, and we're gonna have to figure out what's going on with our what you call it. I mean, it was at the temp we needed it. The turkey fryer.
It got too hot. Often.
Because it's usually somebody that handles that specific job of dunking, so they can kind of monitor it a little bit more.
Yeah, if it was done right, and when it wasn't too hot, it was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just got too hot too often.
Yeah. So there's a lot of trial and error.
But overall, it was a good experience.
It was successful.
We learned it was successful. I mean, we did a good job. It was exhausting, but it was successful, and we're doing it again. So it's So.
And this time will be in the dead of summer.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot about who we are that day.
I'll try and be my best self.
I make no promises.
Can we get a Mister?
So what about living together? How do we still feel about that?
I've enjoyed it. I feel like it's gotten better. Not that it was bad, but I think that we are doing more things.
It's one of those things that you just kind of, I think maybe it should be kind of presented in America more often.
Yeah.
And I've seen some advertisements of multi-generational homes being for sale now. And I think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. But I think it's something that we should think about more often in our country because for the benefits, it is really outweighing the disadvantages.
I agree.
The disadvantages are so small and minute. And like Lavana and I have even talked about it, and she was like, "What'd you do with all this space over here?" I'm like, "Gosh, avoid cleaning it." Like, I mean, it's just one of those things where I just feel like it just, I don't know. So it's a really cool thing. It's something that I've actually always believed in. My husband didn't, but I've not been able to live it out to this level.
Yeah.
It's always only been with family, and I don't think that's a bad idea either. I just think family can be a little more trying, just because we tend to take each other for granted as family, where I think in this way we're so much more considerate of one another.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the boundaries were able to be established very quickly, very early. And if there's any issues, we talk about it. And so, and because we don't want to cause any issues between one another,
right,
it helps us to be able to be like on it. Where when you're with family, even though I think it can work with family just fine, I just think that you're more willing to cross that boundary a little more easier.
I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my only thing in the difference of that. You know, like I'd live with my parents, but oh my gosh, I know there's days they're gonna make me want to pull my hair out. And these guys don't make me feel like I need to pull my hair out. You know what I'm saying?
I never feel like that.
No, so it's just one of those things, you know. But
right.
Yeah, I wish that more people. I wish like I even knew about this even younger. Like how much money we could save.
Yeah,
as a people, you get so much more for less.
Right, and honestly, this house was set up so that we were able to work it out. But most houses, I mean, and it could even be better. So we had like maybe more rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because we kind of have our own separate spaces. Like our families
why it works so well.
Can be our family units on our side. And then we can always and we can also come together.
Right.
And so I think that's what makes
They build houses like that in Utah for certain reasons, but but you don't see a lot of houses built like this in most places.
No.
And so
I actually came up with a really good layout for a multi-family home. And most times when you think of multi-family homes, they're like duplexes and stuff like that, which are not very spacious. They're usually small. But actually, the plan I came up with. No, I don't know. I'm just like if you have multiple families living together. I had this plan for everyone to have their own, like a big square. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the square is a main living room, family room, a shared space, mm-hmm. and then everybody has doors that lock
mm-hmm.
that go to their wings of their house, which has their kitchen.
That's
and all those things.
Houses in Utah are built.
Yes,
yeah, so
I think that would be perfect.
There's a big kitchen, there's a big family room, and then everybody has like kitchenettes over in the corners. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not kitchenettes, but smaller kitchens. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be really nice.
That's a nice thing. And then if you guys ever look up the Putin family, for those of you who have seen it, they built themselves an amazing house for their family. It is huge. It is like the size of our church at Cornerstone, actually. It is that size, yeah. But they have 5 or 6 families that live in that one house.
Wow.
And so they all have their own wings and stuff like that. So it's amazing. But I'm just saying, like, they all came together and, what seems like an unbelievable amount for 1 or 2 people for 6 families. Mm-hmm. It's very doable, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's a total different thing. I like the idea. And I just think that in our country, we don't talk about these kind of things a lot. We don't advertise it. We don't even think of it as a consideration. But if you can do something like this, it's, in the right house.
Right.
Or have a house built where, maneuvered, whatever, where you can do it. It's actually worth it.
It is. It's been really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though the plan is that this is temporary for our family because we'll have something else on the property and then they will have the rest, like Diane was saying.
But they're still on the property.
But we're still here together, and I like that.
Which still saves money because we're all paying for the same property.
Exactly.
So it's just one of those
things. It'd be nice if we had a few others.
It would be. No, I'm joking. It's like, no.
This is not an invitation to everyone, but you know who you are. A few others. But yeah, it would be nice. It brings down the cost of everything. It makes life so much affordable, and it also gives you a better quality of life to be able to raise our own things. I mean, even if there's enough space for everybody to have their own garden, and their own section for animals if they wanted to. We should do some smaller things.
That. We sure could do that. I never thought about that. I never thought about it. But yeah, absolutely.
So I think that it's so much that you can do with so many people living in city areas. And wanting to move to a rural space and into a country space.
But you could do something like this even in the city area.
You could do this in the city area.
Right house.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as you had the land to do it.
Well, yeah. If you're not looking at homesteading and all that stuff, you just need the house size. You know what I'm saying? And so some of the houses I've seen advertised more recently, they're in the city. They're not like out in the rural. It's a whole community, and you can actually select a
like a cul-de-sac. You could buy a cul-de-sac.
No, it's.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I squeezed it.
Oh.
It's like the house can be designed to be a multi-generational house. So when you go to have it made, like you have new builds made, you can select the multi-generation option.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this is even happening in the cities, and I'm just saying, like, I've only seen one manufacturer doing it, and because living with grandma and grandpa and uncles and aunties are becoming more common nowadays because of where we've come from.
Well, if inflation keeps up, people won't have a choice.
People won't have a choice. So why not make that move ahead of time when you can, than when you're forced to, and then you can find something that accommodates your, So,
Right.
we're probably talking to someone out there that needs to hear this, but it's just one of those things that I'm just kind of like, not to, like dwell, because I know this video is like way too long, but just to say, it's not a bad option, guys.
It's not.
We've been your guinea pigs.
We have. We have. And it's been successful. We didn't know. I think we assumed like, oh, it'd be fine. But I didn't go into it with any assumptions that things would go wrong. And they haven't.
I had a 50-50.
That's just her nature.
It
So
is my nature.
that didn't surprise me.
Nothing about her, nothing about her family. It's just that my nature always says, what's the worst case scenario here?
Yes.
What's the one in the middle? And what's the best case scenario? And so it was like, so I kind of thought of all of them. And I realized that even at worst case scenario, I was willing to take the chance. And so, well, because we're both level-headed people, we were never going to run our friendships behind it. We would be more likely to say, this isn't working, so we want to keep our friendship intact, so let's go our separate ways. And so, yeah,
absolutely.
But that's the other thing. It's got to be a level-headed person.
It would be.
There's a couple people I know this.
Maybe not the house share, but the land share for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Land
people
share would have been easy.
Yeah. A lot of people need to start looking into the idea of buying up. You've got people with lots and lots of money who will remain nameless, buying up farmland all over the country. And we need to make sure that we're getting a piece of that, making sure you've got something for your family.
Well, homeschool, homestead, just all the families are homeschooled. You guys do science together. Learn to teach us science.
What's funny is science is my least favorite subject, but I enjoy doing creative things. So I would be the experiment. We would do lots of experiments as we're learning. So it would have to be the science that we.
Experiments I don't like.
I know. So you could do the lecture and I'll do the lab.
I'll do the lecture. I don't mind doing a lecture. The names of the bacteria might be a little messed up.
We'll just write them out.
They'll be written out.
We'll
I just may not say them right.
Just...
Hold on, let Siri say it. I still can't say it if that's right, because these AIs be saying stuff wrong. Y'all know that.
They do.
Anyway, we need to go.
We do. So, on that note, that's our update. Thank you for watching. We hope that you'll comment below if you enjoy the update and if you want more updates on the homestead, and or even just a day in the life on the homestead. We'll probably have to do it on a weekend, and it would be a strain, if I can be perfectly honest. But if enough people watch and like this video, we can get 1,000 likes for this video. I do it.
I'll do a day in the life on a school day, because my weekend was probably Saturday. Boring. You're just gonna watch me clean. But I would do it if I get to 500 likes. Yeah.
500?
Yeah, I'd do it for 500.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably do it for 300 likes.
I'd do it for 1,000.
But if you like this video, it's a small thing, but it really helps our community grow. And what we're doing right here is we're helping homeschoolers and people who want to homeschool and want to learn about homeschooling. We try to help them. So like this video. It helps with the algorithms and all that good stuff, and get this video up in the YouTube world.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching.
See you all soon.